And I'd like to tell you a little story about Shankachura, who was the king of the Asuras, and Tulsi. And Shankachura was cursed to become an Asura. And Tulsi was also cursed to come down to earth. And they met at Pushkar, where Tulsi was doing tapasya. And she said, I want to go back to Golok and be with Vishnu and Krishna. And Brahma came to her and said, you will go back to Golok and you will marry Vishnu. But first, you have karma on the earth and you have to be the partner of Shankachura, the king of the Asuras. And that will fulfill the curse, and then you can go back home. So, Tulsi said, all right, Brahma, if that's the will of God, I'm going to marry Shankachura. And she began to do tapasya and recite the mantra, waiting for Shanka. And of course, one day Shankachura came up, the king of the Asuras, and he saw Tulsi radiant with purity. There is nothing so pure as Tulsi. And she was just radiant. And he looked at her and said, would you be mine? And she said, are you Shanka? And he said, yes, okay. So the marriage was fixed. It was quite a love affair. And very quickly, the purity of Tulsi was Shanka's protection. And the gods attacked the Asuras, and the Asuras began to fight, and no one could defeat Shanka because of Tulsi's purity. So the gods went to Vishnu and they said, Vishnu, somebody has to help us out. We can't defeat these Asuras. Tulsi is too pure. Because of the purity of Tulsi, we can't defeat Shanka. And he's the king of the Asuras. So you have to find a way to rob her of her purity. Vishnu said, I'm always willing to do the work of the gods because it's destined that the gods always will go back to heaven and the Asuras will always relinquish their authority over the earth. Satyam eva jayate. Truth will always prevail. So the gods will be victorious. And whatever is required. Tulsi asked for the boon to marry me. Vishnu took on the form of Shanka. And he went to Tulsi's place where she was staying. And he said, hi, honey, I'm home from the war. Quickly, let's make love. And Tulsi had a doubt. But she said, my husband has come home from so much hardship and facing so many dangers in battle, I must yield to him. As soon as they began their engagement, Tulsi said, you're not my husband. Who are you in reality? Why have you come to rob me of my purity? By deceit, you're trying to defeat the Asuras? Who are you? Vishnu assumed his form with 4 arms and said, you prayed for the blessing to marry me, and here I am. And Tulsi said, yes, but not like this. Not by deceit. Not by your deceit has written the death of my husband. And I can't accept that. And Vishnu said, I'm giving you a boon. My worship will never be complete without a Shankha. Shankha, the conch shell, will sit at my feet. Wherever devotees gather, there will always be a conch shell. And I'm giving you another boon. You can be with Shankha all through the day. Every devotee who worships with the conch shell will say, Om Aing Ring Kling Shring Vrindavan Basinya Ki Swaha, and put some Tulsi leaves into the conch shell. And Tulsi gets to stay in the arms of her lover all through the day. And every night when the worship is complete, the devotees and pujaris will take that conch shell water and sprinkle it on the heads of all the devotees, and then Tulsi will come and stay with Vishnu all night. Now, how do you like that? Can't complain about that deal. What a deal. She gets to be with Shankha in the day and Vishnu in the night. So Tulsi accepted.